Hi, it's Scott, ROCKFILE, back with another podcast review for you. Let's talk about the new movie, Alien Romulus. I am an Alien fan. I like all the movies to a certain extent, although I will admit Alien Resurrection is really hard to watch these days. It's just a bad idea, executed not badly. It just wasn't good. Anyway, long story short, I'll give you the short version of this movie and no spoilers, although the only complaints I have about the movie involve spoilers. So at the end, I will be doing a minor spoiler thing to talk about those things. But otherwise, I would highly recommend this if you like Alien movies. If you're a big fan of the first one, you will enjoy it. If you're a fan of the second one, both of those movies are perfect in different ways. The James Cameron movie is more of an action movie. The first one's more of a horror movie. The two of them together have just created a universe that they have been trying to stick the landing on another sequel many, many years. There's things I like about Prometheus. There's things I like about Covenant even. But this felt like a real Alien movie, a movie that should be slotted between the first two movies. It was really well done. They created characters that I actually cared about. There's a few standout performances. I don't want to give anything away. So anyway, most of the stuff is practical effects. Most of it. Very well done. One of my complaints involves CG. We'll talk about that at the end. There's not a whole lot of CG as far as the blood and the gore and the alien stuff. There's a lot of dudes in suits and animatronics and that kind of thing. And it all comes across as well, if not better, than any of the movies. Really great special effects. You got characters in peril that I like. I really thought they would spend a whole lot more time introducing the characters. I thought it would be one of those movies where we're waiting for a good hour for something to happen. No. They work in the characters and the relationships into the ongoing story. So there isn't a whole lot of exposition dump. And then we get to the roller coaster. No, it pretty much starts one way and goes that way the entire way. I thought it was really well done. Really enjoyed my time in the theater. So what else can you say? I could say that if you're going to buy this on home video or watch it on streaming, it is going to be brutal on blacks and HDR content and things like that. A lot of high contrast stuff as far as lights and explosions and things compared to a lot of darkness in the beginning. And when you first see the first spaceship in the film, it hasn't woken up yet, so it doesn't have a whole lot of lights on, and it comes out of the darkness, and it's black on black on black. And I was just thinking, it looks great in the theater, but at home, it's going to be brutal on whatever you're watching it on. Like I said, I thought all the actors did a great job. I don't think there's anything that didn't work other than the two minor complaints I have. I was thrilled to see it. I would definitely watch it again, and I'll definitely own it and put it on the shelf closer to the first two than the rest of the movies. Now, the movie does have a lot of callbacks. You're going to hear a lot of people talking about that. I don't have a problem with that if it's well done. From Deadpool to other recent movies that have done the good callbacks, I think this does a lot of them and sticks a lot of them. One or two might be the problem. And those are the only complaints I have about the film. It is a near perfect Alien film in that respect because I really only have two minor complaints. They might not be as minor for some people, but they certainly didn't take me out of the action or make me enjoy the movie any less. Matter of fact, in the first instance, I applaud them for taking the swing. You will see little things throughout the movie that will remind you of the other movies. They do throw back to pretty much every Alien movie, and that's cool, especially the way they do it with a certain gun or a certain this or a certain that. They do insert a few phrases, a couple of phrases they probably didn't need to, but again, this is a franchise film. There's been a lot of these movies now. At least it's fun to have that stuff in there. There were a lot of things that people kind of chuckled at, that kind of darkly funny things. There's also some pretty hardcore, science fiction horror elements in the film. So it's not for the squeamish. There was they pushed the envelope in a couple places, but Fede Alvarez is one of my favorite horror directors because he does push envelopes. He tries to get his vision across. I would say that part of the thing that I have a problem with the movie is probably not him. It was probably more the producer, Ridley Scott. Ridley Scott's been involved in all the movies. The producer, Walter Hill, is also on this film. They worked with the team of guys who built the animatronics and suits for Aliens, the James Cameron movie. They brought those guys back together to do this. They really spent a lot of time making, like the computers are all using those CRT monitors that they were using in the first Alien. The sound effects and stuff. It just all takes you back to that first Ridley Scott movie, which is awesome. So I think I can highly recommend it if you're into these kind of movies. It's playing now. It's going to make a decent amount of money. Everybody that was in my theater seemed to enjoy it last night. Going to get into 2 minor spoilers. I promise I'm not spoiling anything, but I'm talking about things that I didn't want to hear before I went into the theater, and only one of them I did. One of my friends, here we go in 3, 2, 1. Don't listen if you don't want. Thanks for listening. Have a great day. Okay, so the first problem I had is they bring back a legacy character, and it's kind of on the level of Henry Cavill's mustache or Carrie Fisher or Peter Cushing in the Star Wars movies when they brought them back with CG. It just isn't fully convincing. I applaud them for taking the swing and bringing back who they thought. I did hear, it's the only spoiler I heard before I went to see the movie, is that there was some CG that basically de-aged someone. And I'm like, oh. And so my mind started wondering on which actor from the previous movies that they would pull. I did not guess. It was a complete surprise on who it was. But you'll know it when you see it. I don't think it's like I said, it didn't take me out of the movie, but it is very noticeable that, man, that didn't really work there. And in some scenes, it does work. It goes on a little bit longer than I expected it to, but that would be my first complaint, that there's a Henry Cavill mustache type scene in the film that doesn't really need to be there, but I applaud them for taking the swing. The other thing is they call back to one of the movies, one of the worst movies, in one of the worst ways. And I don't know why they had to do that. It seems like Ridley Scott always wants one of these kinds of things at the end of these movies. But other than that, I thought it was well done how they pulled it off, and the why of it and all that made some logical sense in the scheme of the film. But could have done without that, and just a regular xenomorph or something like that would have been good towards the end. But anyway, they do push the elements that they have pushed in previous movies even a little further in this one, and I will applaud that as well. Those 2 things are really my only complaints. Other than that, I thought there's a scene with xenomorphs and the blood and stuff in Zero Gravity that is just a true treat to watch. That's not really a spoiler. You see it in the trailer. There's the cinematography is stunning in this film. They really did a great job in bringing this movie to the screen and making a quality film. It's not a B movie in any way, shape, or form. This is a AAA film, up and coming A-list actors, or at least they will be at some point. But that's also one of the things that benefits the movie. These young actors create characters that were believable and we care about. Even there's always got to be the token jerk. Even that one, you didn't really want to see them get off in the way they get off. But anyway, it is a good Alien movie. I would put it number 3 on the list of all the Alien movies ever released, behind Alien and Aliens. I'm Scott. I'm ROCKFILE. Hope you enjoyed the review. I will leave the massive spoiler reviews to other people. When I got out of the theater, there were already some online that caught things that I didn't even catch. So go check one of those out. New Rockstars is a really good one. There's a few others. Anyway, I've got more reviews on the way. Thank you for listening and have a spectacular day.